Um, did I tell you I did a munch pack? I think I did. So I've got some stuff to upload in addition to this, but I felt like I needed to come back with another update because I left you guys hanging with my boo-hoo crying self. Like I said, I mean, I really thought twice about even uploading that one, but stress can really mess you up, and I have been off my game ever since this whole thing began back on the 6th, 5th, whatever day it was. And I'm trying to address that. So, the store. Still haven't opened the store. If I had to open it tomorrow, I could. I'd get in there, vacuum everything, throw the crap out on the tables, and put out my open sign. Yeah, I could do that. I feel like that's the wrong move for a number of reasons. Now, I was feeling this urgency to get the place open by, what, tomorrow? Is tomorrow the 1st of October? Well, by the 1st of October. I really wanted to be open for the entire Halloween season. I have lots of Halloween-y sorts of things, not so much to buy. I haven't made that much, but rather to, for the decor in the store. So I felt like, yeah, I gotta do it. But that imperative really backed off in my mind as we've had to deal with this, the whole fire situation, and COVID's rearing its ugly head more now. Looks like there's spikes in a lot of places. California seems to be holding its own overall, but there are areas that are spiking. So I'm just feeling a little unsettled. I mean, on the one hand, even if I open the place now, it's doubtful that I'm going to get much in the way of business in the bricks and mortar part of my store. People just aren't out doing that. I don't expect to be overrun by customers. That's not my fear. But rather, when I open, I want to feel secure, that I've done everything I can to make it as magical as I can, that I did my best on the displays. Displays, that's a whole series of videos I could do about how difficult it is to come up with really good store displays. This is a segue, I've been into so many stores where it was a near miss, sometimes a big miss on the displays. The things you have to remember, I'll just give you an example of one of the things you have to remember about displays. Displays need to go up. Your eye needs to go up towards the ceiling. So a lot of people will, oh, thank you, honey, he just brought me roses. Look, and I have to protect these from my cat who thinks they belong to her. And no, they don't, they're mine. Anyway, so displays need to draw the eye up. That's why if you go on Pinterest and you look under store display, you'll see a lot of examples where they've built up, like they'll have a table with another little table on it and maybe a ladder or something, and it'll go real high. A lot of times they'll hang stuff from the ceiling that will hang down, to give that height thing. I haven't done much of that, and if you don't, your store looks a little, or at least I feel that my store looks a little non-contemporary or something. It's hard to explain. It just doesn't look au courant. It doesn't look like it's supposed to, the way stores are supposed to look. It doesn't look that way. It looks like something I would have put together in the 1980s. In fact, it looks a lot like my old store that I did put together in the 1980s. So I need to yank myself into the new millennium when it comes to display. The other thing about display is you need to do several things. You need to group, not scatter. So if you have, let's say, wall plaques, just things that hang on the wall, whether it's decor or it's key chains or whatever, key holders, you need to group that stuff together. The other thing you need to do is you need to think thematically. So let's say you've got a bunch of red, white, and blue key holder plaques, and then a bunch that look like chippy white farmhouse. If in your store you have a section that is patriotic and a section that is chippy white farmhouse, then you would separate those two things out. Don't claw me. Don't claw me. Oh, she's clawing me. So you have to kind of think in terms of organizing what should go where. The other thing you need to do is in each little vignette, each little section of your store, you need to combine textures and surfaces so that it's interesting. For example, if you go on Pinterest, you look up store displays and you come upon a picture where it's all kind of farmhouse, you know, chippy white farmhouse. You'll notice that they'll put a lot of galvanized metal, rusty metal, lots of white linens, white, you know, stoneware, whatever. Then you'll see wooden surfaces as well. So you'll see these surfaces that all have something to do with one another. Rust, galvanized, chippy white, linen, stoneware, all of that says farmhouse. So they group it together so that your eye is really interested when you're looking at it, as opposed to having a set of shelves and just putting all your pottery on it. That feels like a thrift store, and that's a thing that I feel stores really need to avoid, is looking like a thrift store. So, as creative as I am, as well as I know what I want to see, I'm having a hard time actually focusing and getting it done, and I do not know why. I'm guessing, though, that part of it has to do with cleaning. A lot of the stuff that I'm using, well, almost everything that I'm using is being repurposed. It's stuff I drug out of my house or I drug out of my container. There are some things I did buy for display of the store, but a lot of it is just stuff I already had. And so trying to build that stuff into cohesive purchase areas around the store, that is a challenge for me. A lot of this stuff is dirty. I mean dirty like has dirt on it. My ladders have been kept outside, so they've all got dirt down on the bottom parts and they're dusty and there's cobwebs and stuff. That stuff has to be pressure washed. I need to take it outside and pressure wash it. I have an antique buggy from the 1800s. It's a blue wicker buggy. It's kind of beginning to fall apart, but it's still perfect for display. That thing is full of dust, full of cobwebs. It needs to be pressure washed, delicately pressure washed. So I have a lot of stuff like that really needs a good cleaning. And a good cleaning is freaking exhausting. It is so tiring to drag that stuff outside, tiring for me. To drag it outside, turn it upside down, turn it right side up, get my little scrub brush with my little, mild soap solution and clean it properly, let it dry in the sun, and then take it back in. Whoa, I mean, one thing, just doing one thing like that would send me to the recliner for the rest of the day. So, I'm afraid, I guess I'm afraid of the work. I guess that's part of what I'm afraid of. Is getting involved in this and just getting tired and starting to feel hopeless, So that's what's going on at the store. Now, I have been spending a lot of time there, but I haven't been doing the hard work. I've been doing the easy work. And for me, the easy work is creating inventory. So I got all my little barn lumber plaques that I'm making. Some of them are simply decor. Some of them are for hanging keys on. Some of them are going to be turned into clocks, that kind of thing. And I got all that together, and I finished those projects. Except for the clocks. The faces still need to go on those, but everything it's all decorated, it's all got its little hangy thing on it, ready to go. So I could hang those up and be done. Put that out in the finished inventory area. Next thing I pulled out was a new project that is, and I wish I had a picture for you. You know what? I do have a picture for you. It's not finished, but I'm going to insert the picture here. Okay, that is going to be either a wall hanging or a pillow, and I think it's going to be a wall hanging. I think I'm going to go ahead and nail it to some barn lumber, hit it with some Mod Podge. I had an idea. You notice that there's, where the white stripes are in the flag, there's lace on top of them. So you don't see the white fabric all that well because there's lace over it. I was thinking about taking my metal stamp and my archival ink pad and stamping the Declaration of Independence up to the point where they start bitching about the king, up to that point. Go ahead and stamp that onto those white lines so you won't see it unless you know it's there. And that's kind of an interesting thing to do. I mean, if I saw that at a store, I would be like, oh, that's really cool. Look what's under this lace. So that's one of the things I'm going to do to it. And that will become decor.